We're on the road. Where transportation goes, community grows. Welcome to On the Road with the MTA. And welcome to another edition of On the Road with the MTA. I'm Jay Gibbons alongside with Stephanie K from the MTA. How's Stephanie today?
Well, I am well, but there is a heat advisory in effect right now.
Yes, there is.
Hot. It's
and
hot,
you
hot,
wanted it. You kept complaining in the wintertime. Oh, it's too cold. I like it when it's warm out.
I'm not complaining. I'd rather have the heat over the ice. What I would love to do is bottle it and just save some for when it's really cold so we can put a little heat over there. Oh, and balance it out a little bit.
Jars of heat.
That's okay. But Consumers Energy is going to be very thrilled with the cost of my air conditioning.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, but that's okay. But they do say stay hydrated, stay cool if you can. Do not go out in the sun if you can help it.
Yep.
You stay in the air conditioning. If you don't have air conditioning, if you have fans, or just drink a lot of water.
Yes, stay hydrated.
And don't let your dogs outside too long. That pavement's so hot.
Right.
It's really hot on them. Put them in the garage or someplace cooler in your house, maybe.
Yep.
Anyway, I got something to talk about being cooler. We got something cool going on. We have Jessica Dixon joining us today. She's the Advocacy and Peer Specialist with the ADA. And that is the Disability Network, which does so much as the Americans with Disabilities. That's the ad for ADA. You know that? You knew that.
American with Disabilities Act, yep.
There you go. You got that. Well, they're having a big picnic. They do it every single year, and MTA is always there with their tables to help people about their special transportation needs, and maybe we can fulfill that.
Yep.
So, Jessica, I know you have a different location this year. So tell us where that new place is going to be for our picnic and what date and time that's going to take place.
We do. So I just appreciate you and Jay having the Disability Network on the podcast. And it's always good to get out information when things are evolving and changing. So the Disability Network has celebrated the ADA as long as I've been at Disability Network, 16 years, and I know it's went on longer, with some sort of picnic style celebration. But this year it looks a little different. And first of all, TDN would like to acknowledge, I would like to acknowledge that the ADA celebration feels and looks a little different this year. And the reason behind that decision is that staff, who I want to remind listeners are persons with disabilities as well, are seeing the need for increased advocacy right now more than ever. The ADA, of course, is something that should be celebrated and honored, and yet I want to remind people, especially people with disabilities, that the ADA also empowers, educates, and equips people with disabilities. So that's kind of the aim of the event this year. So let's talk the details. Where are we? What are we doing? When is it happening? The event name this year is ADA Day 2026 Rights in Action, and it's happening Friday, July 24th at the Flint Public Library. From 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And the format this year is there's going to be a keynote speaker. There's going to be a kind of a learning session. I don't want to call it a breakout session because it's for everyone. But there's an employment rights situation, that's what we're calling it, excuse me. And then there's also a panel discussion that's going to be happening. So the keynote speaker this year is a disability rights advocate, Tamika Kitchen-Spruce. She's a native to Michigan. She lives in Detroit. She is a person with a disability herself, so she has lived experience. And let me tell you, I know Tamika. She is a fierce advocate. She's also a film producer and an author. So storytelling is her jam. And she really does, because she is a person with disabilities. She understands the barriers that people with disabilities face both locally in their community and nationally. She is a national speaker. So she is going to bring her voice to the collective voice of what rights and actions really means this year at our session. Now, the employment rights separate session that anyone can attend is going to be led by the Michigan Department of Civil Rights, and they are going to focus on employment. We understand that employment is a barrier for a lot of folks in Genesee County, not just people with disabilities, but obviously because who we are, we want to make sure we're focusing on, how do people understand under the ADA, which, just fun fact about the ADA, the Title I is the title under the ADA which employment falls. So we'll be focusing on that title specifically for this ADA celebration. That doesn't mean that those other titles aren't important. And then finally, we're going to have a panel discussion from community members. So it's going to be leaders in the community, people with disabilities in the community, and then allies of people with disabilities on this panel that are going to share important and impactful ways that people with disabilities can tell their stories, which means using your lived experience as a person with a disability to drive positive and necessary change, not only for yourself, but the collective community as a whole. The event is free. The event is open to the public. You do not have to register to attend. You can just show up. All are welcome. You do not have to be a person with a disability. You can be a person without a disability. And you can find more information, both on our website and our Facebook page. I would not be doing my due diligence here at the Disability Network if I did not also say, if you need an accommodation, such as sign language interpretation or other types of accommodations for the event, you can reach out directly to Katie Curnow here at the Disability Network. Just call our main line and ask for Katie. And if you are interested, if you are a person who's looking to support the event or make a donation, you can contact Kara Birchmeyer as well. I think I got everything.
Yes.
It's a lot of information. And I do want to point out, in case you didn't know, I'm going to do a little plug really quick. For the month of July, it is the anniversary of the ADA. July is also Disability Pride Month, if you did not know.
I did not.
And so for the month of July, the Disability Network, myself, this is me plugging myself here, I am doing a Lunch and Learn webinar every Thursday of the month of July on each title of the ADA. So this week, tomorrow it's on Thursdays from 12 to 12:30. Tomorrow I'm doing a Lunch and Learn webinar on Title I, employment. So that's where we're going to do deep dives, more into each title each week. And so we don't want people to think we're just focusing on employment for our event. That's just where we're focusing the efforts this year and the need. So I hope everyone can join. If you can't, if you're still interested or you want to learn more, please check out our social media or our website.
Wow, that was a lot, Jessica.
And
Thank you.
And the website is what, Jessica?
Oh, great, Jay. I am so happy you said so. It is disnetwork.org, and that's spelled DISNETWORK.org. And for those listening that aren't aware, we have moved physical locations, and that is on a giant banner on the very front page of our website. We are no longer at the Dordt Highway location. We have moved down to Linden and Corona, the corner of Linden and Corona. Now we're in the professional Linden building. For those that don't know, it used to be the HAP building.
Oh, sure.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it's a big building. Good for you. It's huge.
It is a big building.
Yes.
We're not the entire building. We don't take
I
up that
know.
much space.
Well, I know
Yeah.
911's upstairs. I know they have a lot
Yep,
of
911 is upstairs. Yes, ma'am.
We just
Yes,
had him
ma'am.
at the Mott Community College Lifelong Learning Series, so he told us all about that, which was
cool.
great. Yeah, so I have a question for you, Jessica. Last year, or the last couple of years, I have manned
Yeah.
the table for the MTA. It's always been outside at the Powers High School. So is this taking
Yes.
place inside of the library or outside?
It is, and also I'm so glad you said something. There are still going to be vendors there. So we are still going to have people like MTA. We're going to have someone with the voting machine. We are going to have vendors and resources for persons with disability, but it is going to be inside the library, first floor, that large room. Kind of in the corner. I call it the corner, but depending on what road you're in, it could be the front-facing part of the library to the road. But that's where we're going to be located and kind of camped out.
I always know it is where the kids' room used to be because I had small children,
Okay.
with single parents. So they always
Okay.
go in there and play on the computers and get their books and things. So, yeah, that's a great place to have it. So, as the vendors, the MTA, they'll be inside as well because I don't know if we should bring tents and
They'll be
tables and chairs.
inside as
Okay.
well. Yes.
Okay, well, wonderful. And the years past too, I know they had like games and food and music. Is there going to? This is going to be a little different setup than that, then?
This
correct?
is going to be a little bit different setup. We didn't collectively as a staff feel like we could celebrate in the same way, knowing that our rights are kind of being infringed upon currently, and we need that kind of shift at the moment to recognize that the ADA is more than just an act that we can celebrate and acknowledge. It's something that we can use as people with disabilities to, again, educate ourselves, empower ourselves, and equip ourselves to make sure that our rights are intact and maintained.
Well, you're doing the important thing. You're connecting the available resources people need, and they can learn how to share their own story and make those changes.
Absolutely.
So that's great.
Absolutely.
Well, I know a lot of work went into this, Jessica, and I sure thank you for doing that because it makes a huge difference. And even if you don't have a disability today, you might tomorrow. I know Mr. Benning said that every single day, 10,000 people are turning 65 years old for the next
crazy.
17 to 20 years, and you're going to find that you might have more disabilities.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. I often say I'm not threatening you, but if you are a person and you have a body and you live on this planet, at some point in your life, you will experience disability, whether temporary or permanent. And I think what Mr. Benning is leaning towards is aging, right? Aging is kind of the club everybody's like not really ready to get involved in, but it's a privilege in my book to be able to age. But aging is hard too. So yeah, people can acquire disabilities at any time, whether permanent or temporary. And so, yeah, we're all going to experience that. And also being disabled is not a club a lot of people like to join or identify with. So just understanding that disabilities are also, they're seen disabilities, right? I think a lot of society sees that as, you're a person with a disability. I can see that disability or that barrier. And the reality is that a majority of people with disabilities have non-apparent or hidden disabilities. Those are disabilities you can't see, like high blood pressure, sleep apnea, depression, cancer. I can't even think. There's a whole plethora of disabilities.
Sometimes a mental disability too. If they're schizophrenic or they have,
Absolutely.
Well, I know MTA really does cater to the ADA community, and if you have an ADA card, we do not turn you down. We get you to where you need to go with the transportation. They really do their very best to make sure the ADA clients are taken very good care of.
Yes, they do. I can attest to that. I kind of work behind the scenes with MTA a lot, and they do take good care and great pride in being able to acknowledge that people with disabilities do need that support, and also that disabilities look and show up in different ways.
And I love that Mr. Benning also hires a lot of people here at MTA that has, I don't want to say disabilities, we call it different abilities. There's different abilities.
Okay.
Because he hired a young girl that was totally blind, legally blind, and he asked her, she was going to do some typing. She goes, well, I got to tell you, I can really only do about 60 words per minute. He's like, that's going to be
that's
just
really good.
Fine. Yeah, that's great. And you'll see people in wheelchairs. You'll see the people I said are legally blind, several that we've hired. He just sees the need for that, the importance of that. And they are the best employees and the best attitude, and we learn so much from each other. So I just love that he sees that future.
And I would argue, I think, and I know Mr. Benning personally as well as professionally, I would argue Mr. Benning isn't looking at the need of, hey, we need to make sure we hire those people with disabilities. No. Mr. Benning hires people based on their qualifications, and that if that happens to be a person with a disability, great. He's really putting the ADA into practice and saying, we look at all people equally, whether that's someone with a disability or without. Can you do the job?
You're absolutely right. And that's why I said it's different abilities. He hires you after your different abilities and not because he has to, because he wants to.
Yes.
Well, that is great. Well, Jessica, I can't wait. Once again, that's July 24th from 9:30 until noon at the library. Yep. Go inside. You're going to find all the information that you need, and MTA will be set up there as well. And just a time to really learn. I love that you have those keynote speakers, too.
That's what we're hoping. We're going to empower, educate, and equip.
And the fact that it's indoors, you don't have to worry about the rain or the heat. You're going to be comfortable.
No. Yes. Or the heat. We've had to worry about that in the past.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that was wonderful, Jessica Dixon. Thank you so much again. Thank you for listening. And make sure you listen every week because we do this. It's called On the Road with the MTA with Jay and Stephanie Kay.
That's right.
You learn something new every time we do it, don't we, Jay?
That's right, we do.
Try to make the community a better place to live. So thanks for listening. Please do stay safe.
You've been listening to On the Road with the MTA. For more information on our services and community outreach, visit us online anytime at www.mtaflint.org. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The MTA, your community, your connection, your way.